Okay, so I've just started up the Carbs and Cals app, and this is sort of the home screen. I'm going to press continue, and I'm going to show you how to do two different things today. So the first thing I'm going to show you how to do is to kind of get an approximate fat value for something that you've made. And the second thing I'm going to show you how to do is the dicier job of trying to work out the fat content of a meal or a product that you've been served in a restaurant or a cafe or like a friend's house. So first of all, let's work out the fat content of something that my little boy absolutely loves, which is jacket potato, cheese and beans. So I'm going to start with the jacket potato. I know there's no fat in potatoes, but I'm going to pop it on here anyway just so you can see. So jacket potato. And actually this shows you how the app works, in that on the screen you can see different sized potatoes going all the way from smallest to largest. Now the good thing about the Carbs and Cals app is that when you are making these little menus and you're trying to work out the fat content, you can see an approximate size of the portion. If someone says to me 60 grams of potato, 120 grams of potato, or 30 grams of a potato, I find that really difficult to visualise, so this really helps with that. So for Harry, who's 15 months old, it would be something like this. So one potato, there's a slider at the bottom if you want to change it to half a potato or 3 potatoes or, even more. This is about how much Harry would have for a jacket potato. So a small potato, but a whole one. So add to meal. This is the summary of our meal so far. And at the moment, it's just the potato. So let's add some more. When I'm making Harry a jacket potato, I will add some butter. So I'm going to have a look for butter. Type it into the search top and have a look down here. There are loads of different options, but this is what I'm after, butter. Portion size, so if I'm making Harry jacket potato, it will probably be about half of that. So I'm just going to change that to half and then add to meal. And I can see there that butter was 2 grams of fat. Okay, add. Now I'm going to add beans. So baked beans in tomato sauce. And for Harry, probably be about 3/4 of that. So I'll add that to the meal. Add food again. This time I'm going to add cheddar cheese. And now you can see here you've got cheddar grated, cheddar sliced, and cheddar reduced fat. First of all, I thought it was quite strange that they had grated cheese and sliced cheese, because actually they'll have the same amount of fat and calories in regardless of its form. But actually it's for the visual. So the grated cheese has got a different visual and it's much easier to kind of imagine how much you put on. Probably about half of that is what I'd put on a jacket potato for Harry. So I'm going to add that to the meal. Okay, and now we've got this summary here of the meal. So we've got the carbs in each item and then the total carbs, calories, protein and fat. Now, for most people with cystic fibrosis, you'll go on the fat content of a meal. So here, there is no fat in the jacket potato, there are 2 grams of fat in the butter, none in the baked beans, and 5 grams approximately in the grated cheddar, which means that a whole meal there would be 7 grams of fat. Now, obviously, this is only approximate because I'm sure different brands of butter have got different amounts of fat in. Cheddar cheese, there are probably loads of different varieties of it that have got different amounts of fat in, but actually it's impractical to sit and weigh every single thing out of your cupboard and to sit and work out the fat content of it, especially if you're trying to wean your baby and you're trying to get used to giving him different foods. So that's really good. You can save the meal in case you want to use it again later. Okay, so this time let's imagine that we're in a cafe and you order something from the menu. Now, in lots of restaurants, like places like McDonald's and Wetherspoons, you can get the nutritional values for the exact meals online. But of course, those are only the massive multinational corporations that legally have to do that. So a lot of the time, especially if you just go into a little local cafe, you might find it difficult to work out what the fat content of something is. So Harry's really into chocolate, and I'm the kind of mummy that lets my little one eat chocolate. So say I'm eating a chocolate brownie and I want to give Harry a little bit. Typed in brownie. And again, the visual is really, really helpful because you can get an idea of how much he's eating. So I might give Harry a little bit of that. I might give him half of that. Add that to the meal. It is really difficult because, for example, there are 6 grams of fat in this. The brownie could contain nuts, which would be even fattier. They could contain lots of oil. It might not contain oil, but contain heavy cream. There are lots of different things that are variables. Let's just add one more thing. So let's imagine we're having something like a cottage pie. So cottage pie isn't there. So I might think, right, well, I'll look for something similar, so shepherd's pie. Now, the key difference between shepherd's pie and cottage pie is that shepherd's pie is made with lamb. Lamb can be a little bit fattier than beef, so I might round down the Creon that I give Harry rather than round it up. So still the same kind of basic thing, you know, chopped vegetables, gravy, mashed potatoes, probably a little bit of oil and butter in the potatoes. That's probably how much Harry would eat, maybe a little bit less. So 3/4 of this. So it comes out at 8 grams for the shepherd's pie. So altogether the whole meal is 14 grams. So for Harry that would be 6 scoops of Creon because it's got 14 grams of fat.